I've had 4 Superdays with JPMorgan at this point. And
Really?
I worked with a guy I met on in an Instagram comment section. I helped him buy out a company for $1.5 million. I did the entire LBO, and then someone on my Instagram said was down to work for me for free. So I call him up. I'm like, "Yo, would you want to go to Nepal?" And he's like, "I mean, yeah, that could be really interesting, like the film." And I'm like, he's like, "When?" And I'm like, today."
Welcome to another episode of KKC Consulting. I've got Logan with me. He's the founder of Amryth. Logan has experiences in consulting, private equity, the whole finance realm, the recruiting side, even assurance, and now entrepreneurship. You might have seen him on Instagram. You might have seen his reels as well. He's a really, really cool dude. But again, Logan, I'm going to toss over the mic to you. You can give a little introduction about yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm from California and went to Arizona State. Like Ammar said, I was grinding finance for a while. Checked out consulting a bit. I pretty much realized I had to do a lot of things in finance, like all the clubs, the internships. I was doing internships already, but figured out that the really specific ones that they're going to look for, and kind of became hip to that a bit later. So I started absolutely grinding, doing courses on my own time, all this kind of stuff until it was about junior year when I started getting into like my first internships around private equity, all that kind of stuff. And then that also kind of came from some independent opportunities I'd sourced. But after that, did a summer at Ernst& Young in San Francisco. And after that, a year at the London School of Economics, because I was just trying to go all in on finance at that point.
Yeah.
And along this kind of sidelines, I was working on this drink company, and it started to pick up more traction. And through contacts I'd made at that point, I was able to raise some money for it. So kind of decided that I was way more interested in the entrepreneurship route than the finance one. And with the opportunity to raise money, I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. And, yeah, haven't really regretted it at all. It's been really great, and we're about to go to market in the next probably week or
Nice.
two. So yeah, super
Yeah.
stoked for the future.
No, man, I'm excited for you as well. I'm excited. If I ever swing by, I'm definitely gonna pick up a can. It's really cool. Like, the whole entrepreneurship idea. And it's interesting because it's very similar. We were talking about this like right before this call, how we'll be doing networking, we'll be asking for coffee chats with MDs, VPs, and all of that. But we never actually realized that we could do the same thing with people in the entrepreneurship field, right? Do you have any advice on the whole networking aspect of things?
It's probably one of the most important takeaways I got from the whole IB, all that kind of stuff, recruitment, was realizing I can just reach out to people and figuring out how to do it well, how to like run calls where I'm talking to them, getting a lot of information out of them while building up a relationship. And
Right.
as soon as I had the idea for the drink, it was one of the first things I started doing. It's just reaching out to food scientists, reaching out to beverage founders, trying to learn what I could do to get to where they are. And
Hmm.
ended up working out really well because most people aren't doing that in the real world, or not as young as I was. So it got me into some really cool rooms, got me around really successful people, pretty much super beneficial. And I guess if you want to network effectively in finance or whatever it is you're doing, just think about why this person would want to talk to you. Like, what do you have in common with them? What other research you can dig up on them? And as long as it's like pretty much personalized, where you have some things in common, like you went to the same school, you had similar internships, mutual friends, it is pretty easy to get a call with most people. But if you're
Hmm.
reaching for like higher up people, MDs, honestly, just being very persistent and asking the right way is helpful. Like following up once a month. And I've had one of my good friends reached out to this managing director that like nobody was getting a conversation from. He was at Blackstone.
Yeah.
He just kept
Wow.
following up once a month with new things, new insights. And the guy eventually just said, "Hey, listen, I don't talk to anybody from ASU because I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't have time. But you followed up with me like 6 times now, so I'll see what you got to say." And he ended up getting a super day with Blackstone from that.
Really?
Yeah.
From ASU as well. Wow.
Yeah, out of
Wow, that's
ASU.
impressive. Yeah. No, that it's crazy because the power of networking, like man, I told you this as well, but I'm hitting up America and the people I'm going to America with like for vacation and all of that, they're literally people I coffee chatted, you know? So it's insane like how things come in a full circle and I think most of the people I hang out with now, at some point I had some sort of coffee chat or I reached out to them for something. It's just such a powerful tool. It saves you so many years of your life where you just got to figure out things, trial and error, because they just tell you like, all right, this works, this doesn't work, you know?
How
Yeah,
did you get to where I want to be? Oh, it's just these things that were the, what made the difference. I'm just going to do that versus getting advice from people around you, which if you're going for a top 1% career, 99% of the people around you are not going to know or not going to have valuable
exactly.
advice. So I want to hear from the person that got to where I want, and then what do they have to say? And I think
No, of course.
something
And
that's really like multiplied on that is social media for me. Where now that I have
mm,
not just like sending them a DM like, hey, we have these things in common or a LinkedIn message. A lot of them just see my brain rotted video of like super, built for retention and like people that are scrolling reels to watch. It's like a very quick trailer for who I am, what I'm about, and why you should talk to me. So I've gotten a way better rate of getting to talk to high level people from social media.
yeah, no, social media is a powerful tool. Like even the whole UGC and all of that. I know it's a buzzword nowadays, but for me, like when I started my personal brand, I realized I could reach out to like hundreds of more people, right? And people automatically like might connect with you, other people who are trying to build out their own personal brand. And then like a year or 2 years down the line, when both of you have grown significantly, it just reflects, fantastic. Like for example, with Viraj, I think I had a chat with him, Viraj Allah. He came on the podcast maybe when he was at K followers on Instagram, and now he's at like 6K, right? So
Yeah.
it just shows, that you just give a little bit of time, you reach out to people early on, and it just compounds, you know?
That's something I'll always do since people have given me so many opportunities. I'll always pay it forward with like somebody that asks me the right way that has potential that I can see. I will always have a call with them. I remember, yeah, when
Hmm.
Viraj reached out to me, I think he only had a couple hundred followers, and I was like, "Cool stuff, dude. Yeah, I'll talk to you." You know what I mean? And now,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like you said, at like a lot, a lot. I haven't checked
Yeah.
recently, but it sounds like yeah, even more than last time I checked. So good for him.
Yeah. No, no, of course. And now I want to take a little switch in the conversation, right? I want to get to know you a little bit more and the whole entrepreneurship grind that you have had, sorry. Can you walk me through the process of developing Amryth and, just the whole, because there's a lot. There's regulations, there's sourcing the actual material. Your business is one of the most unique businesses I've ever seen. And, I just want to hear that process.
I appreciate it. So it kind of started out actually where I was doing an internship, and it was a what's it called, investment banking like competition type of thing where the client was Diageo,
Right, right.
and we were doing advisory for it hypothetically, and I started digging and I realized alcohol sales were plummeting at like unprecedented rates. This was about 2.5 years ago where no one was really talking about it. It's all major headlines now, but it really struck me. And in my hometown, there was a alcohol alternative bar that was really successful that sold something called kava, which is like this Pacific Island root that you brew. It gives you kind of a cool buzz. So I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to bring this alcohol alternative bar to ASU, and it's super profitable and it's going to be a really big deal. And I started going out trying to get a parcel of land that I could rent and or I guess lease. And
Yeah.
nobody was trying to zone me for this weird bar and all this kind of stuff. And I just kept reaching out to new people, grinding, driving to like any locations, getting kicked out of places after trying to ask the manager to like take over their lease. But it was after a trip to LA, I got the idea to do a RTD or like a canned beverage out of it. Because I thought, wow, actually, this can go so much farther than the bars. I'll just bring
Yeah.
it to somewhere you can pick up at a gas station. This is going to be huge. And I
Yeah.
started looking into the industry. There was already people doing it. And I kind of was like, I can do this better than them because I hear this brand doesn't actually do anything. this brand, you can't even tell through their branding that it is kava. They try to like make it sound like some kind of like whatever random drink. I would be putting kava on the front of this can to like show people this is a unique thing. But I started working on that, and it wasn't until I started reaching out to food scientists to try to help me with it that I started hearing some stories about people doing kava beverages and it not working at all, just being like a mix of different issues. But obviously, with the kind of, I like to just try to persist to these things because when
Yeah.
people can't do it, I think that's a good thing because it means
Hmm.
it's an opportunity for me to do it. But I always hear people out, so I kind of was like looking into some other legal alternatives to see if there's anything better, and heard about this rare psychoactive honey from the Himalayan
Yeah.
mountains and was like, that's crazy. So I get my hands on some and give it out to a bunch of guys in my fraternity. One's trying it, asking me about it, like telling me that they loved it. So after that, people are hitting me up saying, "Hey, can I get some more of that?" And like, I started feeling this kind of momentum that I hadn't before, where I'm like, "Wow, people seem really interested in this way more than before or any of the other ideas. Let me lean into this." So I start trying to get more of this honey and create a drink out of it, and then I'm trying to think of which parts I can talk about. I've worked with a lot of different people, and a lot of it did
Right.
not work out. A lot of shady people are in the industry, is all I'll say,
Yeah.
especially in
Of
the
course.
alternatives space. But after working with people that were lying to me about ingredients or just doing things that I were preventing me from running a successful business, I
Hmm.
eventually got a working product together and yeah, then there's the whole supply chain thing you were asking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty difficult because the first time we ordered the honey, oh yeah, I had to, I guess getting the honey, I flew out to Nepal on a whim a little bit. Like I flew out to Nepal to try to get this honey. That's where it comes from naturally. After trying to source it from the United States, realized all the stuff out there doesn't really do anything and is extremely overpriced. I have to get this straight from the source for my margins to make any sense. So I was in London at the time. One of my friends set up an AI agent workflow to like reach out to tons of people in Nepal that it was able to scrape that were interested in Mad Honey or had tried Mad Honey. It was asking where do we get like the best honey, what regions does the most potent stuff come from, who is involved in that, who has like met these people. And I ended up getting into contact with a travel agent that had set up like a group of people to go watch one of these harvests. So I was like talking to him, and he ended up knowing some contacts. So I'm like, all right, boom, I'm going. I'm gonna try to meet these people and see what's up. So fly out to
Hmm.
Nepal. As I'm on the bus to the San Francisco airport, because okay, I guess I was visiting my hometown in Sacramento. Not to go like too all around the place, but
Hmm.
in Sacramento, I'm like, I'm going to Nepal tomorrow, and I
Wow.
get on a bus to San Francisco. And on the bus there, I'm buying my plane ticket, and then someone on my Instagram said was down to work for me for free. So I call him up. I'm like, "Yo, would you want to go to Nepal?" And he's like, "I mean, yeah, that could be really interesting, like the film." And I'm like, "He's like, when?" And I'm like, today." Shit, let me ask my mom. And calls me back like an hour later, and he's like, "Let's fucking do it." So buy him his
Damn.
ticket too. Fly to Nepal the next day. 40-hour trip.
Really?
Yeah, get there, get to the capital, then we take a car ride up 9 hours up the mountains to meet with these
Wow.
people. I have a translator with me, and we're talking to them. They take us to go hunt the honey. I get some sick footage and stuff, and
Hmm.
I end up getting some deals worked out. And now I have all this honey, and I'm like, well, how do I get it back? So
Yeah.
we drive back to the capital, another 9 hours, to the capital, and we're meeting up with honey factories, trying to get someone that can package, label, and ship that to the U.S. We work out a deal, and it seems good to go. So I'm like, nice. This is it's gonna work out now. Not at
Hmm.
all. Not at all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
ordered 30. I ordered 30 kilos of this stuff to the United States. FedEx is like loses my package. They said that
Wow.
when they showed up, nobody signed the sign, or they went to the wrong address. It was unit like one or something. It was unit 101, but they went to unit 102 and just said it was the wrong address. So then like said couldn't be delivered. And then they dropped my package. So they said the package was damaged.
Wow.
So I'm like freaking the fuck out, like literally
Yeah.
yelling at FedEx on the phone because they're giving me these nothing answers about what happened to my package. I'm like, dude, you can't do this. This is like, I just spent so much money on this shit and I needed it to arrive by a certain timeline to give out these samples. I had someone bringing it to a bunch of CPG investors. They were all like going to this party and
And you wanted to
when,
present it over there. I see.
yeah.
I see. I see. I see.
So I
Wow.
was going to give it to him. He was going to present it. Then I was going to be able to raise money to like keep the company going.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I can't find my honey. Nothing's working out. Last minute, I shipped some honey I had on hand over just to do like a few samples, but it wasn't enough. And everyone tries it and just goes, yeah, this doesn't really do anything and
Oh, because there
burns the whole
wasn't enough for a
reputation.
buzz, right?
What?
Yeah. There wasn't enough to like get the buzz, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone's just chugging it,
Yeah.
doesn't feel anything. And it's like, ah, fuck this. Just
Yeah.
ruins
So
the
what
reputation.
did FedEx say? Did they just like completely ghost you? They didn't give any like
No,
proper
so
response?
actually, I eventually was able to get it. I was like trying to. I literally I drove to one of the warehouses and was like demanding I get my fucking package, and like psycho shit. Because I mean, at this point, it's like I'm trying to run through walls to make this happen. Like I've already come this far.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let any dumbass situation like this stop me. And I'm not gonna burn more money that I don't have on more
Hmm.
honey. So
Yeah.
eventually, I get them to relinquish access to me, and none of it works. It all went bad. I find out that heat killed the potency.
Wow.
So it literally just completely got like unusable. And now I'm, stuck with all this honey. So I'm like, all right, I fucked up. I'm
Yeah.
going to try again. And this time we had to do temperature controlling and other kinds of bullshit. We had to fly it instead of cargo, which is much quicker. And
Hmm.
after using this new method, we got it in the US. And I did like a focus group with it where some people don't know what that is when I say it, but it's pretty much I had a bunch of people sit down and try the honey, tell me what they think, and the results were really good. People were loving it. I had people's like friends of friends, like people's girlfriends that girlfriends of people that tried it, asking like if them and their friends could have some, and
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
making waves where I'm like, okay, okay, this is good to go. I put it in an order, and it's all looking green. I'm like, we're about to, have all this. I'm setting up these dates for things, and I order the honey, and it kind of stopped answering after I put in the wire. I'm like, what's going on? I'm calling these people, all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm ready to go ballistic, like fly out to Nepal, figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Their government was being overthrown. I'm looking on the news.
This is doing that. Yeah,
The
I
queen was
remember
like burned
this.
alive, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this is an awful like I how do I deal with this because I need this
Yeah.
honey, but I should be respectful of like the situation going on,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out where the money is, and the money was never the wire never went through because the banks were all shut down, so no one was approving it, and
God.
I'm like trying to I call my guys, they're all good, they're I don't know if that's like I heard from someone that they have to say that or I'm not sure, but I talked to my guys. Everything's all cool. They're just like, we're just kind of seeing what's going to happen. But yeah, the banks are shut down. But we end up getting a hold of somebody at one of the banks and they approved the wire. And then it was about another month or maybe even 2 months before they actually send this stuff of me like
Wow.
calling them nonstop, being like, what's going on? Why is it taking so long? Oh, well, these things. And then like the weather was bad or something. And I'm just like, all right, are they just fucking with me? Like, I'm trying to be respectful of everything, but
Yeah.
like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous.
Hmm.
And eventually they send it. I get the tracking information. I'm like, good, finally at the finish line. But that's
Yeah.
far from true because then
Damn.
the FDA seizes the package, which we had done all this paperwork ahead of time, but it turns out there was new regulations from the Trump administration that I was unaware of. Not only did I get hit with a
Wow.
ridiculously large tariff, which was not their government reflected rate, but I had to deal with new screening, new things, documents that we needed to attach. And then apparently because it had sat for that much time, then we had to do what's it called? Then the FDA had to screen it to make sure it was still safe for consumption since it had sat for a week. I'm like, that's your fault. What do you mean now you have to delay me even more? That doesn't that make it worse? So the FDA screens it, and they said, yeah, this can take anywhere from 90 to 180 business days.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, I'm fucked. It's over
Yeah.
because 90 to 180 days is like that's pretty fucked as is. Business
Yeah. But
days,
business
bro,
days?
I'm
Wow.
never seeing this shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just like trying to, keep my composure, but dude, I'm pressed, and
Yeah.
I'm like making all these calls, and what I even end up doing, I had some guys inside of DHL trying to push for me too, that I'd made some friends there and people on social media because talking about it on social media, people give good advice, and it ended up not taking as long as I thought, which is good. We get
Okay, good.
it approved and the honey shipped out. I'm like, finally, we've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the honey gets to a manufacturer. There's tons more of issues of like labels. The colors aren't coming out properly on the labels. And I'm like, what do you mean? I thought we already had the labels, the ingredients. Like, apparently, I thought we'd already ordered the ingredients, but apparently they never got a response from one of them. So I'm calling new people with new ingredients for the other ones because I was focused on the hardest one to get. I mean, I could keep yapping all day about all these issues I've faced. It's just I think
Yeah.
the lesson you can take away without me having to go and do it for the next 30 minutes is like nothing fucking works. Everything takes 2 times to 3 times as long as you think it will. And
Mm-hmm.
it never, I always have this idea, holy shit, it's all going to be, my whole life is going to change after this thing happens. And looking back, I'm very, like, I've done well in pre sales. I have made money on this. I've raised money where those are all things I would be really happy about initially. But once you've put in so much work to get there and dealt with so much bullshit, it's like it always feels like less than what you feel like you deserve, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because of how
Yeah. No,
much
I
work, which
get
is a
you.
good thing. Because you never have that, you never expect for the overnight billions of dollars, right? Like it's always like, okay, that makes sense. I made 10 grand in a week off that, understandable, because I've done this much fucking bullshit. So yeah,
No,
but
that's fair.
so if you don't feel that way after you don't get what you want, that's why you didn't get what you want. So just keep grinding and yeah.
No, that's fair advice. I had no idea, to be honest. I I could understand for sure because even during like Panda Buy days, I don't know if you remember Panda Buy.
I use Panda Buy.
Yeah, I used that a lot. I was a Panda
Yeah.
Buy warrior actually. So like even during those days, it was so annoying, like just messaging all the way from China, like the Chinese. I can't imagine like actually sourcing Nepal, their customs, the bank, the wire transfers, the FDA, the regulations in America, and then on top of that, the Queen getting burnt alive. I didn't know that either. Like I knew there was a revolution in Nepal, but the Queen being burnt alive is insane. That's crazy work. And then Trump coming into office, like, oh my god, man. Like are you still scared that, maybe the launch might go south as well, like the one in like 1 to 2 weeks?
You never really know. I always
Yeah.
I always have like I always understand that when there's a chance for something to go wrong, it usually does. And if there's a worst case scenario, it's probably going to happen. It might just be my
Yeah.
luck because that goes for many things in my life, but I just keep taking risks and keep understanding there's going to be consequences, bearing those consequences, and then pushing forward. It's like, I don't know.
No,
I'm
I
getting like
get you.
better stress tolerance and things
Yeah.
like that. It's part of that. But the other thing, what was the other part of the question you said?
Oh, no, no, I was just stating like how it's really impressive, but one question I did have actually, like I'm very surprised you still have like a full set of hair, to be honest, like after all of that. Like,
Me too.
how do you make sure that you're able to balance um this whole grind with like a personal life, being able to hang out with your buddies, all of that, or do you think there's just no balance? It's just
And there's
full
totally
like
balance.
obsessed.
I still
Pardon?
get drunk all the time. I don't know if I should say that, but honestly, I can
That's
because a
fair.
lot of times it's with people that have invested in my company. I'm always
Okay.
doing it in a productive way.
Yeah.
Let's see, like last Sunday, yeah, Sunday, I ended up going out because one of my friends that invested was going on like a double date type of thing with me. And then as I'm out, I end up meeting a sorry, I just got a call. I end up meeting some
No
guy
worries.
that's huge in ecom here and is friends with a ton of really famous people and invites me to some dinner Saturday for a bunch of other top ecom guys in Scottsdale. And it's like things like that where you go out with in the right places with the right people and you end up getting really put on because now he's
Yeah.
putting me on to like this ads manager, which might not work out, but it's just you never really know. And a lot of good things for me have come out of going out. Like when I was in Atlanta doing my production this weekend, Saturday after figuring everything out with manufacturing, we go out to the bars and we get dinner with a bunch of like founders and social media people, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're all kind of like building that connection with each other. And then while we're at the bar, I run into this guy higher up wellness, if you've heard of him.
Think it sounds familiar.
Okay, well, I randomly just my friend spots him at the bar, and we start talking to him. I'm showing him what I'm doing, and now I'm setting him a case. He has a huge wellness podcast, so tons of visibility out of that. So I think you can totally balance it. Something I got wrong when I first started grinding for finance specifically is thinking if I want to make it in finance, I need to become a corporate robot because that's the people at
Mm-hmm.
ASU that were making it. It's the people that don't go out, don't have any personality, that all their identity is finance. So I thought to myself, that needs to be me. I need to start speaking more corporate. I have to start only working and doing nothing fun because that's why I'm not getting a job. Is I'm in a fraternity at ASU. That's why. But
Mm-hmm.
I found it's so much easier to build connections with people that want to hang out with you, want to work with you if you just be yourself and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You don't try to downplay your social life or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
And once I
that's
started
true.
doing
Like
that,
even
that's when I was
sorry.
actually getting people like vouching for me in interviews because they're like, I want to work with this guy because we're homies. It's never because they think you're gonna be the most cracked person most of the time. I mean, I can't actually say that. Like, there's definitely there's definitely a lot of places that like you have to be technical, you have to be very technical, but you need to show both. Is what I'm saying. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
there's one
Mm-hmm.
guy that is like the warden, like knows everything about everything. It actually it's hard to give general advice because it does depend on like
Yeah,
where
no, I
exactly
get
you're
you.
interviewing. But most of the time,
Of
it's like
course.
that versus someone else that's also very technical, but also coachable, and someone that
Mm-hmm.
the people like. That's usually who's going to get the return offer. You could say
No, you're right. You're right.
is yeah the
Yeah,
kid that's like also sociable and but you do have to have like enough technical foundation to like
of
get
course.
the interview and stuff. So I don't want to like
I think yeah. No, you're right. I think it's about like be by like balancing the toughness with like just humor and being funny and charismatic. Like bro,
100%.
to this day, like I'm obviously like, looking at consulting recruiting and all of those things. And there's a few firms, right? And for some of these firms, some of the consultants and managers, I kid you not, I'm sending them reels like on a daday basis. Right?
Really.
So it's like, just being able to have this sort of connection, oh my god, it takes you so far. Like,
No, 100%.
even my religion, like Islam, like I'm a Muslim, right? So talking about my religion, I promise you, it's done wonders. It's done
Seriously.
so much, like by just having that thing. For you, it's like drinking, right? And a lot of people like to drink. For me, this is kind of polar opposites, I guess. Like the whole Islam type timing where you can just speak to someone about their religion, understand God, and understand all these different things. It's like it takes you so much farther than if you're just staying at home, let me case, which is still very important, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you
But
have to do both.
like,
That's the biggest thing.
yeah,
You can't. It's worse if you do only one. Like
100%.
if you only do technical, you have to do both. You have to like
Yeah.
be a well-rounded person and not gonna like you most of the time.
Hmm. Yeah, because I have a buddy. He gave this one scenario which actually stuck with me. He said that you'll always find someone who made it into the job, and they're like, I didn't do the best on the case, but you're never going to find someone who said I did shit on behaviorals. Like I've to this day I've never found someone like that. And it's so true because I've chatted like what, maybe 500 people, something around that sort, in terms of like consultants, finance people, entrepreneurs. And even at that mark, I've never once heard someone say like this person was too charismatic or too personable. Maybe like if they took it over the edge, like they started taking their shirt off at a bar, like sure. But
Yeah,
like if
that's just like
nor most
goofy
of the
stuff.
time,
But yeah,
yeah, like most of the time it really does take you far. So I
I've
think
taken that same approach with investors too. Like you said, how you're
yeah,
setting
yeah, yeah.
reels with like people that you're looking to work with. It's like I got dudes that are talking about investing that manage huge portfolios, sending me IG reels and like brain rot and shit. Like it's how you want to
I don't
be.
know what it's with them. Like I don't know why the older generation really likes brain rot these days. It's
It's because
That's so
they're not really
surprising to
that
me.
different. Like especially once you turn like when I had my first internship in a big city, I just started going to the bars to meet cool people. And I
Yeah,
got a lot of homies out there now that are like anywhere from, my age to like in their 30s. And
yeah,
it kind of works where like when you graduate, everyone in like their early 20s to like early 30s ish like hang out and
yeah,
aren't as like old as you think.
yeah,
Where you have to like take them seriously, you have to be professional to them. Fuck no. No. You want to like be a homie to them because you're not really like in that different of a bubble as you think. So being able to relate to
yeah.
people in that way is one of the most important things I think for being successful. But in terms of
No, one hundred
consulting, I
percent.
haven't even really spoken about the time that I did grind consulting. I guess
Yeah,
because I started out going, I need to do IB. I need to do IB. And I was going all at that, taking courses, talking to everybody, really learning what IB was because when I first started reaching out to people, I was like, Goldman Sachs. Oh, and talking to someone that like ops at Goldman Sachs, which no disrespect to that position, but it's like that's not investment banking is what was stupid about it. Because I thought that I'm talking to them, hey, I want to do IB. Like, that's not what I'm doing, man. Like, just making a fool of myself. And I remember one time when I was starting out, this guy told me to just call him instead of the Google Meet. So I FaceTimed him and he was chuckling. He's like, fucking FaceTime. I'm like, oh, bro, my bad. And just literally making a fool of myself in many occasions. A lot of calls went great. Some of them went horrible. And
right.
it's like pushing through that to the point where very few of those calls don't go well. And you get a really good at running those. That was probably my
Yeah,
number
yeah, yeah.
one takeaway. But when I decided to start doing consulting, I had joined a consulting club at my school and felt like that was more akin to entrepreneurship. I also went through the full IB recruiting. I guess to get into IB recruiting, I was like, I need to do something big. I go to ASU, nobody's really fucking with me. I'm getting pretty technical, but like I'm still not getting that many interviews. I want New York City. I realized the best people aren't doing like the partying and shit that I do. So I'm gonna just cut out my spring break, canceled. Like I'm not going to Mexico. I'm flying to New York City and I'm
Wow.
going to just coffee chat people the entire time. So
Mm-hmm.
I buy a red eye flight to New York the next day and I send out over 100 emails to people and messages, anyone that'll talk to me, just being like, let's set something up. I'm gonna be in New York, and as soon as I get there, instantly, boom, right off the plane, no sleep because I got a Spirit Airlines flight. It was a red eye. I
Yeah,
was like, oh, I'll sleep 4 hours on the plane. It'll be chill. Not at all. And I show up and I'm like, I shower myself off in the sink at the lobby because I wasn't ready to check into my hotel yet, leave my bag with them, and I go meet with a VP at an elite boutique, trying to like sound insightful as we walk around New York. And I'm literally hadn't slept, feeling like a zombie. And then another VP. I met with like the head of one of the groups at like a elite or not elite boutique, a bullish bracket, and I had some really cool things that panned out. But
mm-hmm.
overall, I end up getting like a few interviews out of it, a few super days, which I was stoked on.
Mm-hmm.
None of them pan out. I
Yeah.
had, I think, what was it, like 8 super days, maybe
Wow.
more, and none of them panned out. I had a lot of calls. I've had 4 Superdays with JPMorgan at this point. And
Really?
yeah, the last one, I made a video about this. The last one, it's killing. Like I'm going so well. Like I'm on the phone with the VP, and she stays after for 10 minutes and ends the call being like, wow, I like really learned something like speaking to you. Because I was telling her about,
Yeah.
actually, I was telling her a lesson I had from that book from David Rubenstein,
Oh,
because
I
she
see.
mentioned
I
liking the
see.
book too. So I went into that, and like a takeaway I had, and she was like, "I was actually really insightful. Like I really learned something." I compared it to how I had a leveraged finance club too, so I was comparing that to like running my leveraged finance club, like how I was able to take that away. The most green signal of all time, even rejected there, and that's when I was like, "All right, there's got to be like, there's no way it's not paying out this much. Like there's got to be something wrong. Maybe it's because I was meant to do consulting." So after eating shit on IB, just in the recruitment, I'm like, I'm gonna do consulting. I already had like, part-time internships at PE firms. I was doing like in the middle of the year one that was like at a pretty good fund, but none of their connects were able to really help out. He had literally he sent an email to the head of this group at, I don't want to air it out. It was like another elite boutique with a managing director they're really close with. And while I'm attached in the email, he goes, "Hi, we're not currently looking for ASU students. Thank you." After like a huge recommendation about how I was like grinding my ass off, killing shit, doing full
Wow.
LBOs. He's like, one line, like, "We're not looking for ASU students, thanks." Just like
That's
that. So
crazy.
I'm like, yeah, this ASU is maybe that's what's fucking me up. And I applied for a year at London at the London School of Economics. I'm like, I'll just switch up my school. Got accepted to that. So it's like this might be able to help me. But during the summer, that's when I actually was like grinding consulting. That's when the recruitment was. I had, I think it was just an interview with Bain. I did
Okay.
coffee chats with people at McKinsey, and I don't think that ever really worked out. My dad actually worked at McKinsey and
Really?
didn't even get an interview. I think I failed the IQ test they do. Maybe I don't have a big enough IQ, but who knows? So with Bain, I wasn't hearing back from any of these firms. Nobody was fucking with me for consulting. I had, nonprofit. I had like extensive resume, extracurricular stuff. I worked with a guy I met on in an Instagram comment section. I helped him buy out a company for $1.5 million. I did the entire LBO. He loops me in. I'm like negotiating with lenders and like better like covenants and shit for this dude.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my first gig in a private equity firm. So I'm like, dude, I
I
have a
see.
good resume. There's no way I'm not getting in this. It's got to be ASU. It's got to be like, I don't know what it is. With Bain, I'm filling out this application for them. Next day, you're a very qualified candidate. We want to interview you for Bain. I finally get an interview at a consultant firm, and they're like, "You're a very talented candidate." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Like, let's go. I do the interview. I spent like $2,000 on a casing coach that helped my friend
Yeah.
get into McKinsey. So I'm like, this can't go wrong. I think I did the case pretty well, and it was like it went okay. My connection went out
Yeah.
towards the behavioral section, and it was really like it was like running in the
Oh,
other
like
room with my
he or
computer.
she exited?
What?
Like he or she exited, or you're saying just went out the interview room?
No, my internet went out. So yeah, because it was like it was like a whatever it's called. There was a first round, and then this was like the one after, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was still like online, and I what's it called? The during the behavioral part, my network goes down. So I'm like running to the other room to get closer to the router and trying to like have a casual conversation with him, like make some rapport. No
Yeah.
dice, got cut,
Yeah.
and yeah, it pissed me off. I never got any other consulting interviews, and was like, all right, London is going to be my time. And in London, I'm talking to all these people at all the different banks, and it's all going way better than my last recruitment cycle. So at this point, I know way
Hmm.
more. Um, I'm like starting out with just way more knowledge. I'm already like in all the right clubs. I got accepted for all like the best societies, LSE, or the ones I liked the most at least. I felt like I had a really good shot. I had a
Yeah.
managing director saying he's like gonna vouch for me heavy and all this shit. Didn't get a singular interview in London. Like I had 8 Superdays with ASU. I didn't get a single interview in London with way more experience. So I'm
With
like,
LSE as well.
with LSU as well.
Wow.
And I literally had an MD vouching that he's like, "Oh, dude, I got you the interview." Like showing me the his office with like this crazy like chandelier, talking about how I got to work with him and stuff. Nothing. And it was like an alumni from my frat at ASU and like an elite boutique, golden opportunity. And like I didn't even get an interview there, which makes me think it was maybe it was HR, maybe it was Visa, or maybe it was just fucking fate. It was like I gotta just I gotta just do entrepreneurship.
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, like it's probably just a sign. Like there's no shot. LSE as well is definitely a sign.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, then I started trying to interview for venture capital. And at this
Yeah.
point, my drink was starting to like get some traction, and dudes were like, "Yo, why don't you just do your drink? And if it fails, then you do VC." So I'm like, get the opportunity to raise money, fuck it. And looking back on it, I'm like honestly glad I got rejected all of those times because
Yeah.
my life is so much better in my opinion now, and I'm actually where I want to be. I'm able to put the amount of grind that I've put into all this other bullshit into something I actually care about, and I can feel the momentum too. Where like my personal brand,
Hmm.
it's like all these networking calls, they do actually have a multiplying effect because now I have friends my age that know a bunch of other people in the content creation space or the founder led marketing space that can like give me intros for things or like,
Right.
hey, I'm coming to your city, let's hang out. And it's like I'm getting like real payout, in terms of like relationships, and it's hitting my bank account now where I post a video and it makes me money. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like very glad that I was forced to almost be in this opportunity, and like I also think I've built up a lot of tolerance to things not working in my favor because they seldom seem to. And I just kind of just have to keep forcing this shit to work anyways.
No, I get you. That's fair. That's fair. No, that's a crazy journey you've got. This this is a crazy, crazy story. To be honest, like 8 Super Days alone, that would have crushed me. Like 8 Super Days and none of them panned out, that would have crushed me.
Dude,
But
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I can't imagine like failing 3 Super Days and not feeling bummed out for the like next 3 months, to be honest.
dude, I mean, I was bummed out, but like, I'm like, well, fuck it. I still got
Yeah, you
this
gotta go.
market. I got,
Yeah,
I got a elite boutique still. I got, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then,
No, I get you. I get you. No, but I'm glad. I guess now I can say I'm glad it didn't work out. It's great. You're creating your own company. You're talking to your own people. I'm assuming you've got your own team as well. You're definitely learning a lot from entrepreneurship. Like obviously there's upside to consulting and investment banking, like learning to take orders, create, substantial slideshows, presenting, speaking to senior expertise as well, like leadership. But in
also just the work
entrepreneurship, obviously,
ethic, I think is super
yeah,
valuable. One thing I might have missed out from going into banking and having to work 100 hours a week at times is like being able to grind that hard. I've seen
yeah,
entrepreneurs and like heard friends that like after they left, they really hit the ground running on their startup. But
yeah,
I mean, for me, it's like it's hard to count how many hours I'm really working because a lot of it doesn't feel like work. A lot of it
yeah.
is
But it is actually work. Yeah,
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 like
yeah.
making like fucking TikToks and shit. Like it's work, but like it just feels like I'm just fucking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then eventually it starts to kind of all add together, and I'm just like I
yeah.
said, everything I'll do is like with the intention of bettering my
Of
company.
course, of
Even
course,
when I
of
go
course.
out and do something social, like something
Mm-hmm.
cool I did recently. I went to Miami for Art Basel after an interested investor invited me out. And when I was there, I met up with tons of other investors, met new investors that were interested because of not just like, being in the club, talking to people. And they're like, oh, dude, I have a family, I manage a family office. This sounds interesting. Or friends of the investors, when we all link up, it's like, then they have people. So I made some deals too with like some clubs where it was just it was literally a bender where we're drinking a ridiculous amount every single day. People stay up till like the parties keep going into like the next day for our basil,
Wow.
and I'll be up at like 8 a.m. with like some dude that, some investor type of person, and that's how I'm like able to close these kind of deals. I mean, that was an extreme week, but it's just more examples of like how with intention it's actually led to benefits. Or I ran into the
Right.
founder of one of the biggest THC drinks. They did 28 mil in their first year. I think they did like over 40
Wow.
in the last year. They're only 2 years old, going crazy. Met that guy just at like a rave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy. Like at the end of the day, I think even for me, one of the biggest things that I had to realize is that everyone's a human being, right? Like everyone enjoys the exact same things as you enjoy, and it's a really refreshing feeling, to be honest, to know that okay, yo, like for example, I was just on a coffee chat right before this, and I was just talking about where I was born, like Bahrain, right? And coincidentally, the guy also worked at Bahrain, which is really cool because Bahrain's like a tiny island. I've met a total like maybe 5 or 6 people who have ever been to Bahrain. So it's like it's insane. It's like, just these little things. Our conversation for at least like 15, 20 minutes, we were just talking about that. And that's like a really small example. Hitting up other places, traveling to SF, traveling to Boston, Miami, wherever, even though Miami's filled with core sellers. You could have a chat with so many of them and just learn. But I guess with that, we're coming towards the close of the podcast. I want to ask you, and I'm sure you've got a lot. If you could go back 5 years in the past, what advice would you give yourself and why?
That's tough. I guess I'm trying to think of like 5 years ago. It was probably, yeah.
Or even when you started entrepreneurship like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
I mean, I've been doing entrepreneurship for a very long time. Like when I was 6 years old, I used to write comic books, and then I'd go door to door in my neighborhood to sell them to people.
Really? Nice.
And then I was trying to build like an app company. I was trying to learn coding when I was in like third grade to like build apps, and I'd bring them to like
Really?
computer lab, or like, 'cause I'd, build them on the web. And like, remember computer lab, I would like bring that and like try to show people and shit. Yeah, I mean, I did drop shipping. I think the biggest mistake, or not that big of a mistake, because it was led to learning. But when I first started entrepreneurship, the thing that everyone does is the things course sellers tell you about. So I started out with doing drop shipping. That didn't work, so I
Yeah.
tried to do um, social media marketing agency, and then you name it. Like I've tried all those different ones. I see people say they're gonna like lock in and do day trading or something.
Yeah.
I just
TJ.
think if you want to do entrepreneurship, don't listen to someone selling you a course. Do something unique and interesting that
Mm-hmm.
actually capitalizes on talents that you have, other people don't. For me, um, I think I fit the kind of CPG thing with when it comes to like I was talking about being able to like do the social aspect, meeting entertainment oriented and like party oriented kinds of investors in that environment, while also delivering on like grinding through having to overcome constant like shit not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I have friends that'll tell me they have a business idea, and it's maybe an opportunity you can make a lot of money with, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not really asking themselves, am I the right founder for that? Am I the right founder to drop ship some shit I care nothing about? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
see people buy it. It's like that doesn't matter. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand what they want? Because yes, there's tons of dumb people on the internet, but it's not going to pick up any traction if there's no actual meaning and value behind it. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
yourself don't even think it's a good idea, it's going to get 100 views. I promise you. I mean, actually, maybe I don't promise because I see dumb shit all the time. But you got to kind of believe in it, is what I'm trying to say. So if you're gonna like sell something like any kind of service, get good at it before you try to make money on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
do it for free, figure out how to do that skill, or do a product that you actually love that other people do. Figure that out, and then the marketing becomes just explaining why that's the case. Why the marketing isn't, I'm going to learn this skill. It's like I'm actually really good at this thing, and I can show you I'm really good at it because I am. Versus
Yeah.
selling something that, because then you're just going to fail and you're going to get burnt out. You're going to think this
Mm-hmm.
sucked. So that's probably the
Yeah.
best thing I could tell myself for that time frame when I was trying out all those stupid business ideas that you see on the internet.
No, for sure, and I appreciate that. I think like even with me, obviously I had that phase as well where it's just like drop shipping, yeah, next big thing, right? TikTok shop and all those things, you know. I remember I watched like a do you know Jordan Brown?
No, I don't think so.
But I believe he's like one of those gurus online. He's similar to Iman Gadzi. He created like a 12-hour course or something. I remember like going through that entire thing, you know, like genuinely, and then I was like, yo, I'm ready to do the Shopify and all these things. It never panned out, but then I realized like, yo, I might as well just do something I'm genuinely passionate about, right? I love talking to people. Sure, I'll do a podcast, you know. I love reps. I'll sell reps, right?
Yeah.
I really like the whole consulting grind, and I feel the pain when students are like, yo, you know, it's just way too much information. I don't know how to go about things. They're trying to fit into this cookie cutter mold where it's like high GPA, best clubs, and they think they'll break in, and then they're surprised when they don't get interviews. I felt that, you know, pain as well, and I wanted to create that application with it. But the point that I'm trying to bring across is that everything for me, and I'm assuming with you as well, it's like it's more intentional to the side where you have a purpose behind what you're doing more than just money, more than just like the whole fame thingy. It's more so like, all right, I'm building something for myself, like that I wish I had like a year ago, 2 years ago, even 10 years ago, whatever it might be. So I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. Because like, yeah, like you said, the podcast is like an extension of that, and it's like entrepreneurship in itself.
Hmm. Yeah, and I guess the very last thing is I want to talk a little bit more about Amryth. Where can people find you? Where can people like, you know, find what Amryth is all about? Just anything to do with that.
Yeah, for sure. You could just look up Logan.Amryth, like it's spelled right there, or you could do Drink Amryth for the brand account. But yeah, I do behind the scenes content on the Logan.Amryth on Instagram. Our TikTok presence is kind of mid, in my opinion. I think I'm like, for some reason, my videos don't get many views there, and I kind of stopped
Hmm.
posting as much there. But like Instagram, I like that. So you can peep us there. Or you can do drinkamryth.com to, yeah, peep some products. But yeah,
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. But yes, Logan, it was a pleasure having a chat with you. Talked about a lot of cool things, some things that I will have to cut out as well. But I appreciate you for sharing your insights. I learned a lot on this, so I can only imagine the viewers as well.
dude, I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, of course, of course. All right. And in case the KKC Consulting viewers, you guys want to watch, please feel free to follow up, subscribe to the channel, keep in touch. We have a very, very special guest coming up for the next episode as well.